Hello and welcome to episode 3 of my lipstick rotation series. I've already done 2 episodes in which we have talked about 20 of my lipsticks. Basically the idea is that I'm going to go through each and every one of my lipsticks and in the process decide which ones maybe I will declutter eventually. But today we're starting off with a bit of a cheat, you might say, because I'm wearing 2 different lipsticks. These are the shades Fuel from Urban Decay and Juicy from Urban Decay. Now Fuel was part of their like a summer collection, I want to say, with maybe the Naked Heat palette. And this is a beautiful like apricot-y peachy nude color. It is very similar to Kitten Mischief from Lisa Eldridge, but this has more orangey apricot-y tones to it, whereas Kitten Mischief has more like those pinky tones. It's very interesting to see the difference, but I really like both of these colors, so I am going to basically keep both. The fact that I own Kitten Mischief does not mean that I'm going to declutter Fuel. And Juicy was part of their something with a cherry. Was it the Naked Cherry palette? And it also comes in the corresponding beautiful packaging with a little cherry on it. The purchase of this lipstick was a little bit of like a spur of the moment kind of thing. I don't really wear this lipstick on its own because it has a little bit of those like same tones, like same peachy pinky tones, but it has beautiful like pinky peachy sparkles to it. So I prefer to layer it over top of other lipsticks to give them a bit of that sparkle without really only wearing the sparkle. If I were ever to declutter a color, I think it would be a Juicy, but because for now I like wearing the 2 together, I don't really mind having them and like almost thinking of them as like one lipstick. Like in my mind they always go together, so they almost serve the purpose of like one lipstick combined in 2. So for now I'm going to actually keep both. It is time for us to meet in Berlin, people. This is the iconic, by now, Meet Me in Berlin from Lisa Eldridge. It's one of her luxuriously loosens, and I'm saying iconic because it is iconic for me. After I bought this lipstick, I used it so much that after a while I had to go on a bit of like a take a chill pill phase. So I haven't actually worn Meet Me in Berlin in quite some time because I have this thing where I get obsessed with something and then I wear it for a really long time and then I start feeling guilty that I'm not wearing the rest of my stuff. So it's actually been quite a while since I've put on Meet Me in Berlin, but I adore this lipstick. Look at this beautiful 90s brown coming in the fabulous luxuriously loosened formula. Now that I've been wearing a lot of these like different formulas, switching it up every day, I actually have a few thoughts that I wanted to mention about the luxuriously loosened formula. And it's totally possible that I've mentioned this before, but something that I find quite remarkable about this formula is that despite the fact that it is a creamy, shiny lipstick, it doesn't actually bleed in my lip lines. Like if I put a little bit of a lip liner and I reapply it throughout the day and my oils start to break through and break up a little bit the barrier between my lips and the rest of my face. For example, the Satin Allures and the Divine Nails from Pat McGrath, that doesn't happen to me with the Luxe Trans or the Matte Trans. It only happens to me with the Divine Nails and the Satin Allures, but they are like the comparable shiny creamy formula. There is something in those lipsticks that just breaks through every barrier, no matter what I do, unless I fully reapply everything, like blot down everything, reapply my MAC primer, reapply the lip liner and then the lipstick throughout the day. Towards the end of the day, there will be quite some serious signs of bleeding on my lips with both of those formulas. But I really love them because they're so shiny and so juicy and so comfortable. So I'm willing to, you know, go through the trouble or just accept the fact that towards the end of the day, my lip lines are going to look a little bit wonky. But I never have that issue with the luxuriously loosened formula. So that is a huge advantage for someone who struggles with shiny things bleeding in their lip lines. The luxuriously loosens are not offenders in that aspect. So that is another plus. And this lipstick in particular, this color, if you love a good 90s brown lip, like me, then you're going to love this lipstick. And I've heard rumors that it is back in stock now because it was out of stock for a really long time. So I usually don't tell people to go and buy something, but if you like creamy, shiny lipsticks and you like 90s lipsticks, I think you shouldn't sleep on this color because it is beautiful and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Also, I feel like Lisa Eldridge should start sending me PR or pay me a commission for, you know, services provided. Now this lipstick is such a nostalgia item, like let's just look at the outer packaging because that already looks so banged up. I've had these lipsticks since 2015, and the first thing maybe I should say is that this lipstick is a testament to the quality of the Vice lipstick line from Urban Decay, because I've had it since 2015 and it's still going strong. Admittedly, I do always smell it every time before I use it, but yeah, I tend to take good care of my lipsticks. I do spray them with ethanol, I think at least once a year, and I do really try to keep them as long as possible, and I've never had a lipstick go bad on me. Knock on wood, even my Tom Ford lipsticks, which I've had for quite a few years now, are still okay. But back to this lipstick. So this lipstick I bought in 2015 when I had just started working as a postdoc after being unemployed for 2 years, because it took me a really long time to actually finish and defend my doctoral degree. So then in 2015, when I started working towards the end of the year, I already was in possession of a bit more of disposable income to spend on makeup, and Urban Decay went out and did this whole collection with Gwen Stefani, and I just loved everything about the collection. I loved the pieces, I loved the reference to, you know, the 90s, and no doubt. So I bought multiple pieces from that collection because, you know, I could finally spend the money on it. And I bought several of these lipsticks. I bought the eyeshadow palette, which I still own. I bought the blush palette, which technically I don't own anymore because I got rid of the powders because I never really liked the tones of the powder so much, but I did keep the packaging because I think the packaging is stunning. And I think maybe I've decluttered most of the other lipsticks that I had in this lineup from Gwen Stefani. There was a really bright like magenta purple, which I have worn quite a lot actually, and there was a mega matte, which was also a red color, which I also really liked, but I just had better red, so I passed that one along. But I kept this one. This is the shade Wonderland, and you can see how much I've used of it. It is just such a beautiful lipstick. This is in their cream formula, and what I find really special about this red is that it has these slightly purpley pinky undertones to it, which makes the lipstick so much more special. It's not really a classic red, it's not really a warm toned red, it's like a thing of its own. I've never really had another lipstick from another brand that's quite like Wonderland. So I really enjoy this color on myself. I have worn it quite a bit, as you can tell from how much is left of it, and I would be really sad if someday I don't have this color anymore. I don't know whether they're still offering it, because all of the colors that were in the Gwen Stefani collaboration were eventually added to the like regular Vice lipstick line, so I hope Wonderland is still around. But yeah, so today we're talking about Ben from Tom Ford. Tom Ford has this line of lipsticks, which I believe come in a somewhat smaller format of his normal packaging, and they are from the Boys collection, so they're named after, I think, celebrities. I used to have 3 shades from this collection. I have Ben, I still have Ryan, because Ryan was actually a present from my brother and his girlfriend, and I also had the shade Dylan. I decluttered Dylan a long time ago to my mom-in-law because it was a red, it was a beautiful red, but this brings us to how I feel about these lipsticks. I think they're fine, but they never really impressed me so much. They're nice lipsticks, there's nothing wrong with them, it's just that for whatever reason I never really got excited about them. Like if I were to pick a red from my collection, Dylan would always be in the end of the line. It would always be the last lipstick that I would pick, and if I would pick it, it would be because I felt guilty that I never used it, and I've heard from a lot of people that Tom Ford lipsticks go bad really quickly. So I, in the end, decided that there's no point in me keeping it here until it goes bad. And because of how I felt about these lipsticks, I've never really ventured to buy more Tom Ford lipsticks because I just don't find that there's anything special about them. Especially the packaging of the Boys collection, they don't feel very weighty in the hand. They do have the beautiful like Tom Ford, very classic Tom Ford packaging, so I can't fault them for that. And maybe if I were to have a full-size lipstick from him, I would feel differently. But after this experience, I've honestly never felt compelled to buy more Tom Ford lipsticks, and for now I really don't feel any need for that. But we're talking about the shade Ben today, and Ben, like I said, is a beautiful, like sort of like warmer chocolate brown. It's not as neutral mahogany leading as Decade from Eldridge, and it's not quite as grungy taupe leaning as 1993 from Urban Decay. It has its own thing going on. It's also not quite NARS Deborah, which is my most warm-toned brown. That one is truly warm-toned. This one is a little bit more of like a warm, neutral sort of brown. And I also have the feeling that right now on camera you're seeing it warmer than it actually is. So I'm hoping that later when I go to edit the video, it will look like what I'm seeing in the mirror, which is a beautiful, not too dark and vampy, but still with a lot of like body and substance to it, neutral-ish kind of brown. This is a gorgeous lipstick. I actually really like it, and that's one of the reasons I've kept it. Tom Ford lipsticks smell deliciously of vanilla, and I'm happy to report that despite having had this lipstick for at least 3 or 4 years at this point, it still hasn't gone bad on me. I do hope that I still have some time with this lipstick, because I would be sad to not have this brown. It is a really beautiful brown lipstick. Okay, a glorious, victorious day, such as this one, requires to wear a glorious, victorious lipstick, such as Velvet Sorcery from Lisa Eldridge. So today's usually my pet pairing day, and I had all the best intentions to do a pet pairing, but instead I decided to check something that I had been doing for work. So we're going off on a little bit of a tangent here. You remember a couple of months ago I published a paper on a really big project that I had finalized in the end of last year. And then the beginning of this year I started to work more actively on my new project, and for my new project I had to do my first CRISPR experiment. And you might have heard about CRISPR because it became quite popular a few years ago, because 2 women were awarded the Nobel Prize for that. Let me know in the comment section below if you're interested in me rambling a little bit more about what I have done and what CRISPR is. But anyway, this morning I finally got the results of my first experiment, and it seems to have worked, and I'm just so fucking high on adrenaline right now. I need to calm the fuck down. But because of that, I was in no state to be filming a pet pairing video. I'm just way too hyper and way too all over the place, as you can tell right now. So just as a side note, and because of that I felt like I need to, you know, wear something that makes me feel absolutely amazing, and Sorcery, without a fail, makes me look and feel absolutely amazing every single time. So I'm wearing the lipstick today together with the lip liner, and I think at the moment that I'm filming this video, unfortunately this lipstick is still sold out. It sold out really quickly after it was released in the winter months or so, fall winter months, and I don't think it has come back yet. I don't know when it will come back, but the only thing I can tell you, it is one of the most beautiful, like, deeper nudes that I have ever had in my collection. Excuse me, my new pink gel lac order, the nail polishes, gel nail polishes arrived. Anyway, oh boy, I'm running out of space on this card. Okay, so we were talking about the undertones of Sorcery. Sorcery just has this perfect blend of undertones. It's not too brown, it's not too rosy, it's not too like a caramel. It's just the perfect combination of all of them, and I absolutely love it. It's so flattering, it is so unique, it's so grungy, it has warmth, it has coolness. Like right now I feel like it's maybe coming across a bit warmer, but in certain lighting it will look a lot cooler. I don't know what to tell you. Glorious lipstick. Now the only beef I have with Sorcery, I don't have a beef with the lipstick. I'm confused about the lip liner. So this is the lipstick, this is the lip liner, and I've said this also before. In my opinion, for whatever reason, Lisa makes her lip liners warmer than the lipsticks, and I am confused. Is this coming across on camera? Do you see how much warmer this is compared to this? And when you line your lips and you apply the lipstick, you can absolutely see that one is warmer than the other, and I do not understand. So someone please explain this to me. If anything, I feel like Decade would look better, like the lip liner for Decade would look better with this lipstick than the actual matching lip liner. So I'm confused. What an absolutely magnificent lipstick that needs hardly any introduction, because I have actually shown it on my channel quite a bit in the last few months since I got it. This is the shade Rouge 8, which was part of a Lunar New Year collection from Pat McGrath Labs, which came out in the beginning of this year, so 2023. And I've shown the pattern on the lipstick so many times. We've spoken about what a glorious tone of red it is. This is simply a magnificent piece of makeup to own in your collection, or at least that's how I feel about it. It just makes me happy looking at it. And I'm actually also wearing a little bit of Rose Fire Nectar? No, Rose Fire Nectar, not VR. Rose Fire Nectar from the limited edition version of the Voyeuristic Vixen Quad over top of the gold shade from this Guerlain Ombre G Quad in the shade Royal Jungle. I decided to wear this shade all over my lids today because I usually go for like the brown part of the quad because I really like those shades, but today I thought no, I really enjoy the formula of that quad, so I'm going to give the gold shade a chance, and it is a beautiful shade, but then I thought I'm missing a little bit of sparkle and something, so then I pulled out the Voyeuristic Vixen Quad, and then I thought, well, what a better way to finish off the look than Rougeade. I find Rougeade to be a really interesting tone of red because she describes it as a brick toned red, and I don't know, like, to me a brick toned red would be a little bit more muted. This definitely has a little bit more like brightness to it, but at the same time I can detect those brick hints, so I understand where she's coming from describing the shade like that. But I just find this to be such a unique shade, and I think it looks so enlivening and so cheerful on the face. I don't know. I love this lipstick. So this lipstick from Yves Saint Laurent is probably the only like truly like luxury lipstick that I have in my collection. I have either like the mid-tier or like the Pat McGrath, Lisa Eldridge type lipsticks, which they are luxury, but I don't consider them like the classic luxury brands like Chanel, Dior, so on and so forth. This is my only like truly like classic luxury brand lipstick, and I'm very attached to it for one reason and one alone. Well, I actually really like the lipstick, so there are multiple reasons why I'm attached to this lipstick, but first and foremost, it was a present from my brother and his girlfriend for one of my birthdays a few years ago. And from what I understood, my brother handpicked this color for me. And what makes it even more special is, look at this beautiful, bright, vibrant orange. It's actually infused with a little bit of like golden sparkle to it. It's not like an opaque color. It's a type of lipstick you can like sheer out if you want to wear a bit more as a stain, or you can build it up to have more opacity. It's a beautiful like creamy formula. It's quite comfortable, and the little like sparkly particles are quite fine, so you don't really feel them on your lips. Obviously not the most long-wearing lipstick. I also think the formula of this is quite impressive because these types of colors, which have a lot of white pigment to them, tend to be a little bit finicky because they can settle into the fine lines of your lips and they can not be the most flattering ones, let's put it that way. But I feel like this strikes a very good balance, and it's actually a really decent formula. I forgot to tell you what shade this is. This is the Yves Saint Laurent. Let me show you actually the whole packaging. Like, the whole bullet component is also really, really beautiful. And this is the shade Rouge Pur Couture 74. I can't see an actual name, it just says 74 on it. So what I was saying is my brother handpicked this lipstick for me, and I did not have a color like this in my collection. This is the only like vibrant orange, like mandarin type of color. The reason I chose to wear this lipstick today, ironically, is that it was looking really beautiful and springy outside, so I thought, oh, maybe it's time to bust out that beautiful vibrant orange from Yves Saint Laurent. And then it got really dark, really cloudy, and it started raining, so yes. But maybe something that's worth mentioning, and something pretty like classic of those classic luxury brands, is this lipstick has a pretty strong perfumey scent. I was like, is my perfume, like my perfume today is quite potent because I'm in the process of trying all of my Maison Francis Kurkdjian perfumes. So I do also have quite a bit of perfume going on by myself. But then I was thinking, I'm getting whiffs of something very close to my nose, and I think it's the lipstick. Yeah, so something to be warned about with all of these classic luxury brands is that they feel the need to put a lot of perfume in their products, which is not really my favorite. But either way, I still really like this color. It's very unique to my collection, and it was a present from my brother, so it's extra special. Look, another Urban Decay red! So I did warn you, a lot of reds from Urban Decay are coming. This one specifically is called 69, and it is from their cream formula. And 69 sort of strikes the same accords as Ribbon from Lisa Eldridge, because it's that more like classic based, blue based, pink based kind of red. I've actually seen this on a friend of mine and it looks much more pink on her. On me it really pulls much more red. But even if they were dupes, and we are going to test that now because I'm going to swatch them side by side, I still wouldn't get rid of 69 because they're different formulas. 69 has this beautiful voluptuous cream formula, whereas Ribbon is still in the velvet matte. And depending on my mood, sometimes I just really want my cream formulas. So this is 69 from Urban Decay. And now let's watch Ribbon, which I think will be quite a similar sort of red. So here is Ribbon. And maybe just for funsies, here are the two bullets. So this one is Urban Decay, this one is Lisa Eldridge. And I think you can already see even from the bullets that the Lisa Eldridge one, even though it is a similar color, is a lot of a brighter red. So this one still has a little bit of sheerness to it because it doesn't have that very intensely pigmented velvet matte formula that the velvets from Lisa Eldridge have. So they are in the same vein, but they're still, they serve a different purpose. I did mention once that reds are my nudes, so a lot of people collect different types of nudes, different undertones of nudes, different like formulas and textures of nudes. I collect reds, okay, don't judge me. So this is the last stop for episode 3 of my lipstick rotation series, and the shade we have today is the insanely saturated Skyscraper Rose from Lisa Eldridge, which is, as you can see, a beautiful like magenta purple with a bit of red tones to it. It is gorgeous. It is indeed quite pigmented on the lips. It really draws all the attention. So when I wear this shade, I usually like to pair it with somewhat more neutral looks, possibly even a little bit more neutral than what I'm wearing today, because I really like to have all the focus and all the attention on this lipstick. I really enjoy this lipstick. I think it looks really flattering on me. I have had similar lipsticks in the past, but there's something very unique about this one because of those like slight reddish undertones. A bit unexpected to me, but apparently this is a seasonal lipstick for me. I didn't really pull it out at all during the winter months, and now that the sun is starting to come out and I'm feeling a little bit brighter and shinier and in the mood for brighter and more vibrant lipsticks, I immediately thought of Skyscraper Rose. So apparently this one is also a seasonal lipstick for me, which I didn't really expect. I was pretty sure Strawberry Shock is going to be a seasonal lipstick for me, but I thought Skyscraper Rose would be the type that is like an all year rounder. No, not based on the, you know, usage and experience that I've had with it so far. And this was the last lipstick for this episode of the lipstick rotation series. So we're going to continue our journey in episode 4 with another set of 10.